Psychology and tarot tools with my micro 5-minute lesson. Today I am sharing something that is not something that people usually hear while talking about loneliness. I learned this particular piece of information while doing a tarot reading, so it may or may not be common knowledge. I'm trying this for the very first time, so I don't know how it works. Maybe it doesn't work very well. So, if you see it, write your name in the comments below and say hello as you join, even on the replay. So, here is what I'm going to talk about. Loneliness, part 1. For those who doesn't know me, my name is Tatiana Morris, and I'm a conscious relationship expert. I combine knowledge coming from tarot, from being a mental health counselor, from being an energy healer, to help people understand themselves and each other on a deep emotional level. I have spent the last 15 years of my life accumulating knowledge in an attempt to understand myself and others, and now I want to share it with you. Today, my clients are men and women who struggle with relationships. They either don't know how to build a happy relationship with a partner they already have, or they struggle to even find a partner. Right now, I'm in the process of creating my signature course, From Alone to Together, to help them address the main problem they have, loneliness. So, the topic of today's conversation is what is loneliness and how not to be alone. If you know anyone who has those difficulties, just type a yes in the comments. Now, let's dive in. Loneliness is a decision we make, either consciously or more often unconsciously. Do you know more about how that happens? Tell me yes below. This technology is not working how I wanted it to. Sorry. So, tell me yes if you ever heard of the loneliness as a decision. Do you know anyone who could benefit from these tips? Write their name below. Now, when we make a decision, even about something that is relatively out of our control, both our psyche, conscious and unconscious mind, and the universe respond to it. However, if we want to get the result that we want, the decision needs to be conscious, and we need to be aware of that we are making that decision. Otherwise, our unconscious beliefs, our past experiences, and all this other stuff that we learn while we live, make those decisions for us without us even noticing it. For example, this is how it happens. Imagine you come to a new town, new city, new country, and you don't know anybody at all. You may think, well, I am all alone. And if you decide that this is it, this is your decision, unconsciously. So you don't look for opportunities to meet people. And those opportunities are limitless, especially nowadays when we have the internet and all this technology making everything so close together. Now imagine the same thing with more conscious approach. You think, well, I don't know anybody here, so where could I meet people? And what kind of people I want to meet? Here, you start thinking about it. And again, both your conscious and unconscious mind are on it. They are looking for opportunities to meet people. And as soon as you start acting on that decision, the universe responds too, and you get even more opportunities to meet people. So here we are. You didn't choose loneliness. Now, let me tell you a fairy tale. How it works on a more long-term process. Once upon a time, there was a little girl. Let's call her Cinderella. Our Cinderella had a big family. a mother, a father, a few younger siblings. She was the oldest daughter. In contrast to the traditional story of Cinderella, Cinderella's mother was alive and well, but somehow she wasn't available emotionally. We don't know what specifically happened there. She could be working because the family wasn't rich, or she was depressed, or she just didn't have, by whatever other reason, emotional capacity to be there for her children and husband. And so, any family system requires that all roles of the system have to be filled. And so the role of the mother, guess what happens? Cinderella gets it just automatically because there is no one else available to fill that role. And so she becomes this like emotional and sometimes pragmatic problem-solving caretaker of the family. Cinderella's father wasn't very helpful to her with carrying this emotional burden. He was quite judgmental and critical. He didn't appreciate her efforts and always wanted more. So that's what Cinderella learned as a little girl. Unsurprisingly, Cinderella was a good student. She was this like typical good girl. She had good grades, she helped her parents, she helped her siblings, pretty much anyone who asked. Deep inside, Cinderella was ambitious. She wasn't satisfied with this gray and boring life that she had. So she worked hard to be successful. Time went by, and Cinderella grew up and, as it is, fell in love. As she was secretly scared of like critical and judgmental guys like her father, she chose somebody different. Like her prince was some more gentle and somewhat undecisive. After a few years together with him, usually by the magical age of 30, Cinderella realized that she feels all alone in the world. And if she has a problem, she's on her own. She has all those people around, but, well, she's alone with whatever struggle she has, because those people are there to ask from her, not to give to her. And even though the prince wasn't unkind, he was, well, let's say passive. He expected Cinderella to make all the decisions, and if she asked for something from him, he would help, no problem. But he wouldn't offer by himself. And at some point, Cinderella got tired of this way of life. And as she was a problem solver, action person, she started looking for a solution. And that's how we met. I offered Cinderella full makeover of her worldview because to she needed to learn how to make those decisions consciously, because a lot of her decisions were based on her experience. And to change those relationships that she had to change her behavior. And so she did. So now Cinderella and her prince are much closer. And obviously it's not, a destination, it's a journey. They obviously keep working on it because it's life, but they are much closer together. Well, if you find this story helpful, or if you're interested to know more, join me in my private conscious relationship community. We dive deeper into how to put this information into action there. I'll put the link in the comments for you to find it. And next week, I want to tell you the story of the prince, because he has a story too. And his loneliness is a little different, but it's still there. Oops.